He's gonna dig. He's gonna fight me. He's something like me. He thinks he's awesome.
Hey everyone, this is me, Untitled Viking. I want to take some time out of your day-to-day to talk to you about this game. It is called Dragon Keeper. Now, the idea behind Dragon Keeper is that each of the players, this is for 2 to 4 people, plays a adventurer that used to work for a guild of adventurers, but they have since rebelled, so to speak, and have decided they no longer want to fight the dragon. They want to be on the dragon's side. And so they are helping the dragon defeat the adventurers that are invading the dragon's castle. And so the idea is that you're going to actually direct the dragon onto different locations where adventurers are, and then the dragons are going to capture them. And then you claim those said adventurers as your prisoners. And so you're going to do this, and each person taking a turn. And not only do you take one every turn, but you're going to hand one to the player at your right as well. And so you keep doing this until eventually you get through all 3 levels of the dragon's castle, and then you determine the winner by whoever managed to collect the most captives. But also, you got to make sure you don't collect the captives of your old guild, because they're your buddies, and you don't want the dragon to eat them. So the cool thing about this game, there's a lot of cool things, but I just want to show you one quick thing, and I'm going to show you how to play, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you exactly what I think. But the cool thing about this game is that it actually is a multi-tiered game. You're actually going to use the game box as the game board. So I got to make sure I put this together correctly. So, and I don't have the inserts here. I'll show those to you when I show you how to play the game. But so, like the top level, so you see how that kind of fits together like that. And so then let me grab the other one here. Make sure I have the right spot. So, okay, there we go. So then we have all 3 levels. I'm not holding it together real well. But you have all 3 levels of the castle, like so. And so you actually kind of set it up. And so when you get done with the first level, take the first level off and you go to the... So then you have the 2 levels of this. And then so the inside of it is what you play on. And then so after you're done with that, you take that one off. And then you're finally on the base level of the dragon's castle, the dungeon of his castle, if you will. And so it's kind of a neat thing where you kind of build the castle and you actually like dismantle it as you play. Yeah, and I like games like that have a cool little hook, if you will, that they actually are manipulating the actual game board as well. So, all right, cool. So I showed you that. I just wanted to show you that because I think it's neat. But let me show you how the game is played, and then we'll come back here and we'll talk more about what I'm really enjoying about playing Dragon Keeper. This is Dragon Keeper, and I have set up the multi-layered board that I showed you in the introduction. So I'm going to show you exactly how the game is played. So after you put all the tiles in here, and you're putting a tile in each spot, in the very beginning you'll have this dragon token right here in the middle to show where the dragon starts, and also there's the stairway tile there right in the middle. And I'll just pick this up quickly so you can kind of see, like, in the next spot you can see there's the little stairway tile as well. And you'll notice that there are these little inserts on the corners, and that's so the board has something to sit on, so you can kind of get the whole 3-dimensional 3 levels of the dragon's cave thing going on. So, okay, so we have the dragon in the middle. You're going to determine a first player, but before that happens, each person is going to get 4 of these treasures. Now, mind you, I don't know what the treasures are going to look like in the finished game. This is a prototype I was set, but a very high-level prototype, I might add. And then each person is going to get what's called their original guild tile. And this is going to be the guild that the player came from, but has left to work for the dragon. And so, while these people aren't your allies technically anymore, you'd rather not capture these. Why? Because they're worth negative points at the end of the game if you have them in your stacks. And so on your turn, when it is your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to move the dragon. You can see there's little arrows here, 1 and arrows 2. That is not the number of spaces or anything like that. That is basically your first action is to move this way, and your second action is to move that way. So, obviously orthogonally, in either direction. So you can go either way, but you have to go in a straight line. You can stop at any time. And whatever tile you stop on, you get to collect that tile. And you put that in your stack. Now, there are some changes as far as some secret, like actions or whatever. There's certain tiles that will give you certain secret powers and whatever that you can do. I'll go over that in just a little bit. But, so the first action for this character could be, I'm going to go here, and then he's going to stop, and he's going to collect this tile. Now, so hopefully, he doesn't stop on a tile that would be negative points. If he was, say, like the blue here as his guild, he wouldn't want to stop on this spot, and get that, or that spot there. That's why he wouldn't take that good 5 points or 3 points, because he doesn't want to get those. So he wants to like take one that isn't going to cost him any. So he's going to take that one, and then he's got to move the other direction as well. And then in this case, he hands the tile that he lands on, say here, he hands that to the player on his right, and he says, go ahead. Now, if he was the blue, he might not want to do that because, well, he might want to do that because of the fact that he doesn't want to end up getting stuck with it, but he knows that the player to his right can't possibly be that blue guild. He's got to be one of the other colors. So maybe he wants to take a chance and give him like the 3. Now the thing is, if you hand off a 3, 4, 5, or 6 value tile to somebody, you get another treasure. And that's important to note because at the end of the floor, you have to pay tribute to the dragon depending on how many tiles are left. So after you've done that move, then the next person does the exact same thing. They will move over, to where they want to go. Say they go, to this one. They're going to take that tile, and then they're going to, do the other move as well. Now, I actually just took, I'm going to show you the different tiles that have the special powers, and I just took one actually. So you can see this one with a 3 on it, and it has that little circle there. So what that is that's called a prisoner swap. So what that does is that you can take that tile, and you can then, if you don't want it, say like you were the purple original guild, you don't want this one anymore, you can then make somebody else hand them the top tile off of one of their stacks. Now when you collect your stack, whether they're given to you or you take them yourselves, you have to collect them in your stacks in the colors, and you keep them in order in the number, so you can't like shuffle through them. You can check and see like how many points you have in each one at any time, but you can't change them as you will. So that's why, like with this one, then So you can say, oh, that person's got like a 5. I want that, that one over there, and I'll trade you this one. Maybe they're the purple color, and so they can trade with somebody else. The other ones you have, this is the trap tile. If you take the trap tile, when you take this, you can discard it, and then you may take any of the other tiles that are available to you on the board, in that spot. So like, once again, but remember, it's a may thing. You don't have to do it. Now, it should be noted that if you are gifting a tile to somebody, they don't, unless it's the escape tile, I'll explain that in a second, unless it's like the escape tile or escape power, you don't get to do your special ability. So it's like, and that also is in the case of, with the swap, if you swap for somebody, say like you swapped for this tile from somebody, you wouldn't get to do the special ability on that tile. You don't get to do that. So the other thing you have is like the secret door, and this is the secret door tile. When you do the secret door tile, you may discard this tile and then immediately take your turn again. So you'll do that. You'll do it as normal. You take it. You do, like you go in here, you take that tile for the secret door, and then you have to do the actual like handoff to the other player. So you could go, okay, well, so I'm going to, but then remember, you get to take another turn. So you might be looking like, oh, this 5's really good. So you go here, you hand that one off to the person on your right, and then you get to take your turn again and go again. If you manage to land on another secret ability tile, you can do it as long as it is not another secret door. You can't do 2 secret door actions in a row. But you would be able to take this cool little 5-point tile and keep it. Now, so you kind of like, doing kind of a back and forth here a little bit, because it's really good to get the point tiles, but remember, you have to give high-level point tiles, hopefully in colors that the people don't want, to get more treasures. Now, the reason why you want treasures is because after a while, and I'm just going to grab a bunch of tiles here, pretend we've gotten to the point where we've taken a bunch of these off of the board, and here, we'll just grab these, and maybe this one too, and that one as well. And so it comes to somebody else's turn, and they go, okay, for my first move, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to take that tile, and, okay, actually, so they go there, they take that one, and now they have to do the other one. Okay, fine, so they go here, and they hand off this one. Well, in the next turn, you have a situation where I'm going to go here, and I take that tile, but I have no tiles here. I can't hand one off. And when that happens, then you're done. You have to stop at that point, and you're going to go to the next level because somebody wasn't able to complete their turn. So when that occurs, you count how many tiles are left. If someone managed to clean off the entire board, then everybody has to pay tribute to the dragon of 0 tiles. If it's 1 through 5 tiles left, in this case, you'd have to pay 1 treasure. If it is 6 through 8, you pay 2 treasures, and if it's 9 or more, you pay 3. If you can't pay the tribute, which you start with 4, remember, so the first one you probably going to be fine, but if you can't pay the tribute, you are eliminated from the game. And so you have to make sure that you are actually giving up treasures to make sure you can continue playing. But as soon as this is done, you're going to leave the tiles that are located in there. You're going to take that level of the dungeon off. You go ahead and put that dragon in the start there. And then whoever took, I of course grabbed it and I don't have it. Whoever grabbed this tile, the stairway tile, gets to start the next level. So even though it's like worth 1, but you get to start the next level and you get to make the first action. So that's all, possibly a good thing for you. If this tile was left at the end of the round, then it's whoever took the last tile has to do it. Also, it should be mentioned that if you were the person that got jammed, basically you took the last tile and then you weren't able to hand one off. If you were the last person to take the last tile on the board before you went to the next level, pays an extra treasure of tribute as well. So you can, kind of jam people a little bit, like make sure that you can take a turn, like the penultimate turn, so to speak, before you give it away to somebody else, and then they have to spend that extra treasure at the end. So then you continue on like this. You're going to clean up this level, and then you're going to go on to the next level down here, and then you're going to clean off that level as well. And as soon as all of that is done, what you're going to do is you're going to total up your stacks. And it doesn't matter the point totals just yet, but the colors that you have the highest stack in, you have to pay that as tribute to the dragon. So if you have like a ton of these guys, you don't get to score all of them. You have to pay them off as a tribute. If here's the trick here. So like, let's say you took a ton of your own guild. The cool thing is that, right, you get to hand that off to the dragon. You don't have to score those points, but as negative points. But because of the fact that you basically gave up your your biggest negative, so points that you weren't going to get anyway, then unfortunately you do have to give up the second highest stack as well. If you are tied in your stacks, you get to choose which ones you want, and you can go through and see which ones are worth the most points, and then claim those as the ones that you want. You total up the number of points, and whoever has the most points win. And there is one last thing. Whoever ends up with the most treasures at the end of the game gets a bonus of 2. Remember that. That's very, very important. If you manage to tie, there's no tiebreaker. It's just multiple people win. So there you go. That's how you play Dragon Keeper. It is a very, very clever game. It is a very, very tough game to win. I have yet to win a game of this, but I've had a lot of fun with the little strategic movement that goes on. But let me talk more about that in my conclusion, which I will do right now. I remember when I first busted out Dragon Keeper and I played it for the first time, I got all these kind of weird old school tile laying game references. Like I thought of the game Cave Troll, which really isn't too much like that. I mean, I think it was just kind of like the old, like it was a fantasy game, but it wasn't really a fantasy game, if you will. And then I actually thought of the game Dracone, which is a game that I really enjoy with tile laying, and you're gotta avoid the dragon, if you will. Now this kind of flips a little bit, and this is a game where you're actually manipulating the dragon and using the dragon because you're friends with him. But I just kind of got that feeling, and I really enjoyed. I wouldn't say this is a real throwback game, but I kind of enjoyed it because it was kind of a renaissance for me. This was like, there's lots of games out there now that like have a million different rules and a bunch of stuff that you have to look up, and when you move cube A to slot B, then you're going to activate card C and then go ahead and pull lever D, and all of a sudden you have victory points or something like that. But you have this convoluted thing, and I like those games, but I also like games that just kind of take it easy on you a little bit, and they say, okay, well, here it is. There's like basically 2 rules in this game. You move this way and you move this way, and go ahead, take a turn. But the game has so much depth for those 2 very simple rules. I mean, it's like there is the whole point of you trying to collect the right tiles, but this is a game that sponsors talkative players, because I don't know how many times I played it where like you're certain that the person who's like snagging like a certain color of tile every single time, you're certain that they're like, dude, he's green. You got, or he's not green. Don't give him green tiles anymore. Or it's like, oh, it's like you know that you're purple, so like you can't really blame that guy for taking purple. Yeah, so it's like these weird things where you're trying to determine everybody's secret guild, and you're trying to give them those negative points. But if you give them too many of those negative points, it's not going to count against them anyway, because of the fact that they're going to have the largest tile. So there's that weird thing where you want to just have like you want everybody to have maybe 2 or 3 negative tiles of their color, and like make sure that they have something else that's a lot of it. So they have to deal with that negative points. And this is definitely a game where I've definitely come up to my turn, and you're sitting there and you're studying it, and even though there is only just like a little bit of a like wiggle room as far as like the tiles that are left, making the decision on those tiles and what they have is a tough thing to do. Now this is a thing where the game itself probably it's an excellent game even without the special ability tiles. But when you add in the special ability tiles, it just opens up another level of the game as well. And, like being able to take that secret room and take that extra turn, to get to the tile that you really want, or it's like, just getting the dragon to a position that you want to kind of force somebody else into a bad position, and to make, so their decision is a little bit more difficult. Or putting them in a position where they're going to end up having to give you a tile that helps you, because remember, you're doing your turn, you hand it off to the person on your left, and now they have to give you a tile on their turn. And there is a lot of times where you like can't give away. Like if somebody just gave you a negative 5-point tile because it's your guild, you have to go, oh, thank you. And hopefully they fall for it, right? And so there's all kinds of stuff like that they kind of like adds a different level to it. And there's like a lot of like when we play this, there's a lot of table talk, there's a lot of discussion as far as who's what guild and what they're going for. And when you finally do get to the end and you reveal and like you turn it over, there's definitely that audible groan when like you realize that somebody just managed to maybe take 1 negative tile their entire game, and you're like, I should have given you that tile or this tile or whatever. I should have tried harder to figure out what you were, that kind of thing. And so there's a lot of that going on with the game, and it sponsors that conversation. It sponsors that challenge, and this is definitely one of those games we would get done playing, and then we would really reload and set it up and play again. Not because I was like, okay, we should play it again just so I get a better feel. No, we should play it again because I just had a lot of fun, and I want to play it again, and I want to do better than I did the last time. So there you go. If you are looking for a nice Euro with a good theme, really good theme, and that has a that simple but deep gameplay, I heartily recommend you check out Dragon Keeper. And see, it's already been funded. I know they're working on their stretch goals right now, so I mean, this is like it's one of those things where it's like I'm really excited to see when the game comes out. And like as I said, this is a prototype I have, but like the artwork is still amazing and awesome, and I can only imagine the game is just going to look all that much more cool once it is published. So there you go. So thank you as always for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions about Dragon Keeper, by all means, ask away. I'll answer those to the best of my ability. And as always, this is me, the Undead Viking, and I'm telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye now.